In this podcast episode, I'd like to read to you an article that I published on Medium not long ago. The title of the article is Your Sensitivity is a Superpower, and the subtitle is Don't Be Afraid of Using It. Remember the story Princess and the Pea, written by Hans Christian Andersen? It's a fairy tale that honors sensitivity as a royal trait. But I've also heard it being used by parents and caregivers to belittle sensitive children. Most of us grew up with the conditioned belief that our high sensitivity is simply too much to handle. We might be crying over the littlest things and be made to feel guilty for our tears. We might refuse to stay in daycare because there are way too many people in it, but we were told to just bear with it just like every other normal kid. And as we become parents who feel our kids' reactions even more intensely, it becomes much easier to show impatience and anger rather than being gentle and kind with them. You might have learned to numb yourself over the years in an attempt to live less intense lives and blend in with your peers and loved ones. But your suffering grows as you continue to dull your sparkle even more. Over the years, I've learned how our sensitivity is a lifelong superpower that simply needs to be managed. When we deny our sensitivity, we only create more suffering in life. Number 1. Numbing our sensitivity causes unnecessary pain and suffering. Whenever we numb ourselves to block our sensitivity to other people, places, and events, we are essentially denying this huge part of our energetic selves. How would you function optimally if you keep denying part of your true self? I'm an emotional empath. This means that I sense emotions from other people, places, events, social media, and even shows that I watch to entertain myself. Of course, I still have emotions of my own, but I naturally feel at peace when I'm not affected by any person, place, or event. I used to willfully deny certain painful emotions that felt unreasonable to me. This only caused parts of my body, especially my chest and shoulders, to tense up unnecessarily, trapping and accumulating these trapped emotions within me. My shoulders felt so heavy that I used to slouch and lean heavily on the table whenever I get a chance to sit down during lunch breaks at work. Feeling lost and confused with all these trapped emotions, I couldn't connect more deeply with my loved ones, and I couldn't tell what I truly disliked. Do you see a similar pattern happening in your life? Number 2. When you don't manage your sensitivity effectively, you can't access your core self. Even after we start to embrace our sensitive selves, we still need to keep managing our sensitivity effectively so we don't drown in energetic overwhelm. Each of us is naturally sensitive in various aspects, and the energies we sense keep changing as we move through our day-to-day activities. The changes are even more intense when we go through major transitions in life, such as migrating to a new country or getting a divorce. Just like how we constantly need to declutter our rooms to remove what we no longer need and store our treasure keepsakes properly, we need to declutter our energetic selves too. This helps us to keep refocusing on what's happening right here and right now. By the time I realized that I'm energetically sensitive, I was already in my late 20s and grew up thinking that it's not right to be such a crybaby. I put on a happy-go-lucky persona, but there was no real joy in me. After accidentally stumbling into the magical world of energy healing during that time, I became a weekend workshop warrior, releasing buckets of unshed tears through each energy healing workshop. It was so amazing to experience this energetic detox. For the first time in my life, I felt so light in my entire being, especially in my chest and shoulders. And I had a very clear and strong inner knowing that even though it scared me to take this risk, I needed to leave my current job and the entire work environment. Energetic decluttering is not a one-time effort. I still need to keep checking in with myself so I can feel clear energetically and be able to connect to my inner guidance. This brings me to the next point. Number 3, you still need to listen to the quiet inner voice of intuition. Do you recognize that gentle and soft quiet inner voice in you? The one that gently guides you to each magical synchronicity in life? That's your consistent intuitive voice. And this voice is separate from the intense energies you sense through your sensitivity. You need to spend time each day withdrawing from the external noise and tune into this loving guidance within. Even though being an empath makes me an excellent energy healer, I've learned not to overly focus on it. After all, we don't need to pay too much attention to what we are naturally sensitive about. Our core gifts arise when we keep moving forward using our intuition. When I keep honoring my intuition, my life keeps unfolding magically with more joy and fulfillment. I keep meeting wonderful new friends and mentors who amaze me with their soulful and practical wisdom. I love that I have plenty of opportunities to help others through my work and feel supported by friends and mentors too. Are you familiar with your own voice of inner guidance? Do you take time to listen and honor your intuition? Key takeaways. In summary, I want to remind you that 1. Your sensitivity is a lifelong superpower that can help you live a deeply fulfilling life. 2. Numbing yourself in an effort to blend in with others only causes more suffering in the long term. And 3. You need to keep using the superpower so that you can still hear and follow your intuition. You can learn so much more from other people through your super senses and even help them learn more about themselves. Our world needs more healthy and grounded sensitives. So I've finished reading this article and I hope you've enjoyed listening to it and that you can relate to some of what I've shared. So thank you for listening to this podcast episode. And I look forward to hearing your feedback about it.